everybody, it's Mark again, and today we're going to work on a antique wooden plate Black Forest cuckoo clock movement. It's for a friend of mine. His name is Mark. He lives in New York. I don't work on other people's clocks unless they're friends. I don't do this for a living. I'm going to work on. He was having trouble repairing it, and there's a few reasons why. And I'm going to show you in this video. But um, he mailed it to me. He's buying all the parts. He's paying to have it mailed back to him. And I'm told him that my charge is going to be me making this video. So, again, I don't work on other people's clocks for a living. I just got too many of my own clocks to do. I'm just helping out Mark. He worked and worked and worked. We video chatted on this thing, and he was having some issues, and some of the issues he shouldn't have been having. He was just wasn't paying attention, I guess. So kick back, relax. It's going to be a couple, 2 or 3 part video. I'm sorry if y'all have a problem with that. I like explaining things in my videos. And so that's why they're 2 or 3 parts. And that's why they're long videos. I try to keep my videos at an hour. A lot of people love my videos. Cheryl Adair, she's like, Mark, when are you going to post this video? I want to watch it so I can repair my clock. Again, she's a lot better teacher than I am. Michael Anderson enjoys watching my videos. Him and I chat quite often, and we tell each other, hey, I really loved your video. If you are a clock fanatic like we are, if you have the antique bug and want to work on your own clocks, you want to gain all the knowledge that you can. I've been collecting clocks since 1999. 25 years later, I'm still learning things. So let's kick back, relax, grab something to eat, grab something to drink, grab a cigarette if you choose to do so, and let's learn things. And please leave me comments. Please subscribe to all the channels that I'm going to mention. You know, we do this stuff for free. The people that put these videos out do this stuff for free. We're not getting paid that much money. I get paid every 2 to 3 months. It depends on, you have to have so much in your bank account with YouTube. And if you count up all the hours that I spend video chatting with people, doing these videos, I might be making 10 cents an hour, maybe. So let's get started. Hey everybody, it's Mark again. And as y'all know, I don't work on other people's clocks for a living, but I do get involved in helping out a friend every once in a while. And my friend who lives in New York, he works for New York Trash Services and supervisor, and his workers that he has under him know that he collects clocks, and somebody threw a really nice clock away, and he's been having trouble with the movement. He asked if he sent it to me, if I could check it out for him. So I told him, yeah, why not? Well, this is the box. You hear that? I don't like the sound of that noise. So let's get involved and open this thing up. Uh-oh. All mark, mark, mark. You see that? Mark, mark, mark. You should have took the board off before you sent it to me. Weight speed bellows. And the other part of the bird. So, we're gonna have to, the other bellow weight. The bird is, I don't know. I hope that he could repair this. But I'm going to leave that up to him, or he's going to have to buy another one. I think the problem with his clock was he was having trouble with the bird coming out, and he couldn't get the spring quite right. The problem with these clocks is you get something to point with. The problem with these clocks is these nails, they go in that prevent these things from slipping back and forth. If they're not in the right position, then the item won't work right. And so if this thing goes forward, you see how the bird is not going quite back in? So, but now, it's not going back in. Well, now it is. But it's got to do with these nails being in the right spot. But I'm just going to do a function test here and see what happens after I get the chain in the right spot. Stand by. Mark, you're also missing a governor fan. There's no governor fan on this thing. So it's gonna cuckoo really fast. And the bellows need repaired. This count wheel's not dropping back into place. So I got my work cut out for me on this thing. It looks like the bellows are taped in. So I'm going to take this movement apart and try to fix it for him. The lever that's supposed to drop into the count wheel is not, the second wheel is not dropping into the second wheel, and there's too much play in this, and that's because the pivot is not going where it needs to go. So anyway, I got my work cut out on this one. This belongs in a railroad cuckoo quail flock. So I'm going to have fun. But the bird is going on this container. Along with these weights that the bellows themselves feel like they have weights in them, but I'm going to put them in this container along with these birds parts, because like I said, I'm not going to be able to repair that bird. He's going to have to deal with it. So I talked to my friend about this clock movement, and we ordered some fan blades, and they should be in my house in a couple of days. So what I'm going to do is take this movement apart and fix the issues that it has. There are screws that hold the bellow tops on. These bellow paper, even though it's making noise, it's ripped here and it's ripped. That one's not quite ripped yet, but the bellow tops need to be replaced also. And I get my camera in position. Like I said, it's ripped there, but there's a screw here and a screw here that I need to take off, and I need to undo this tape to get the tubes out. So I'm going to do that off camera. Also held in place by a little nail right here, and I have to undo the wires. It's easier if you could take a screwdriver and open up the eye. If you could take a screwdriver and open up the eye, but in this case, it's extremely hard to do. So they got this one where the screw is connected to a wire. The wire's around the loop of the screw. Well, it just came out anyway. And this is a 150-year-old tape. And in this case, they have a screw to take apart to get this bellow off. Little bitty tiny screws. And that's why you need an assortment of tools such as drawers, screwdrivers for little bitty tiny screws. And in this case, the right bellow is the one that lifts up the tail of the bird. I go ahead and take the count wheel off. And there we go. Make sure you take plenty of pictures. It's easier to take this pinion gear off when you're working on these clocks. And it's held into place normally by a pin. And I'm going to take that off camera. This little bitty pin here goes in a hole that holds this pinion gear on. And it's off, and it should come off. But again, I'm going to take it off camera. I'm going to see if I can slip these side cutters underneath it. Just like that. And it's off. You see all the corrosion? I really need to take these wires off to get the rest of the clock apart, so these just don't want to come off that easily. There's one, and I'm going to keep them separated so I can figure out if there's a difference in the length. And you always want to have spare wires on hand. The longer wire goes to the high note bellow, which is this one, and the high note bellow is the bottom lever here. And that's typically how it is. So now that I got all that stuff off, I have to take the front of the stuff off. This is their intermediate wheel, and the intermediate wheel is what controls the hour and the minute hand. There's a tapered pin right here that has to come off to take the intermediate wheel to get the washer off, which holds the hour pipe on, and then the intermediate wheel comes off, and then this right here is the clutch system. The clutch system is what keeps your hand from dropping. If you got this bent too much, your hands won't turn. If it's bent too loose, as the hands rotate, we'll say up toward the 12, it will drop, or past the 12, it would drop if it's too loose. Somebody, it looks like they might have soldered this. So now I could take, I don't want to mess with these because they're screwed in and they're nailed in, and they have the drop distance on the pallets just the way they need to be. As you can see, it's ticking away. But there's a pin right up here that keeps this plate from coming forward. I want to check for end shake while I have this off, and it has end shake. So now I could take this pin out and remove this time side plate. And now the burge and crutch assembly will come out, and it's filthy. The second wheel and the escapement wheel come out. And a lot of times with these antique clocks, the pivots are messed up, and these look good. And I can't take the grate wheel out. Well, in this case I can. So I want to check the ratcheting system. The ratcheting system is working just fine. So that was the time side. And you can see all the dirt and grime and stuff over years. And while I have it in place, I really wanted to check the tilt system on the clock. And so the second wheel goes in its hole like that, and I'm okay with that tilt. The escapement wheel goes in like this, and I'm okay with that tilt. So I don't think it needs bushings. So now it's time to take the strike side off. And again, there's a pin that, again, you want to take plenty of pictures or video while you're taking this thing apart. That way you can figure out how to put it back together. So plenty of corrosion and filth. Now, when the clock is done striking, and grab something to point with. When the clock is done striking, let me put this. This brass lever here goes into the cam of the second wheel. And the brass lever is not catching that well, and so I have to it's supposed to go into this pivot right here, but the this brass lever goes into the second wheel cam, and then the third wheel with warning pin hits the end of that brass lever when it's done striking. Just like that, basically. Okay, now when you put the hammers and gongs together, you need to pay attention because the hammer occupies its own space. And then the low note lever, a lot of times what happens is the low note lever and the hammer are occupying the same space. When I say space, in between these pins. And what happens is the low note lever plays first, and then the hammer, and then the high note lever. So you have to pay attention where you are putting these levers, and that's where I use Rodico to help me keep everything in place. Rodico is my third and fourth hands. So this brass piece right here is what kind of keeps these levers in place, but not really. It's the nails that keep it in place. I need to take this nail out to take this brass lever off, and I'm going to do that off camera. While I had it off camera, I took a picture of this because it's really important where this spring is connected. Like I said, these nails is what holds these levers in place, and they have to be in these grooves of each of these levers. So taking those nails out so I could take the hammers and stuff out. This is what goes into the count wheel. This is what goes into that cam. I said this goes into this cam. Like so. Or it might be, like so, when it's done striking. And then the third wheel with warning pin is going to hit that when it's done striking. And that's how you have to set this up when you go to put it back together. This is what's left of the governor fan. There's no fan, so the clock would cuckoo really fast, and we don't want that. This lever right here has got this wire right here, and that's what lifts this lever out of the way from that cam to start everything in motion. But it's triggered by the, let me get it, it's triggered by the minute pipe with these two pins. It cuckoos on both the hour and the half hour because it has two pins. You see that? It's lifting up. It's lifting up this wire right there. And that's what triggers everything in motion. This is held in place by a couple nails. I'm going to take this off. I'm going to take the rest of the parts off camera, and we'll get back to you. I hope you're enjoying this video. These wooden plate movements, they're really designed well. This thing is 150 years old, give or take, and with care, with proper maintenance, proper servicing, it'll last another 150 or 300 years or whatever. I got all the other levers off except for this lever. In order to get this lever off, I have to unscrew these screws here to take this bridge plate off. And you see my screwdriver? I need to touch it up some. I'll get back. After touching the screwdriver up, it's now flat across. Using my Dremel to touch it up. And now the last lever is out. So now I'm going to clean up this case. I'm going to use a toothbrush and then wash it, and then use some Howard beading wax, and you see how it looks now. I'm going to clean it all up. And then don't forget the bushings, and these are metal bushings, I believe, that are, brass bushings. You should be able to see it. You need to take a toothpick to every one of the bushings. So I'll get back after I clean up this case, and I'm going to put all these parts in my ultrasonic cleaner. Now, whether you use Howard beading wax or Old English oil or New Life Furniture Mask or Amish or whatever, it's totally up to you. But you want to make sure that you treat it all, and that's what this paintbrush is for, to get into the holes, to hard to reach spots. I'm using Howard beading wax myself, but you want to, if you don't have anything else, I wouldn't recommend Pledge, but you need to put some kind of oil-based product on the wood, and it's going to soak it up because it needs oiled. It needs lubricated. It's thirsty. And I'm going to let that sit for a little bit, and then I'm going to take my rag to it. And while I'm working on these other parts, I've got a brand new container of Howard beading wax over there. Howard beading wax is cheaper than New Life Furniture Mask. My friend Ron Rosencrantz, he loves wood, and that's all he uses is New Life Furniture Mask. The only place that you could buy it is online on their webpage, and I used it in the past. He wipes it on and then immediately wipes it off. The Howard beading wax says, make sure surface is free of dust and dirt. Saturate a small cloth with beading wax and wipe evenly onto the wood surface. Let stand for at least 20 minutes before wiping the excess off. Polish out with a soft cloth. More coats and longer dry time overnight may be necessary for unfinished wood surfaces. Beading wax is not intended for food prep surfaces. And then it says, for food prep surfaces, use Howard cutting board oil, butcher block conditioner. And it says, do not mix with other chemicals. Wear improvised gloves and safety glasses. Keep out of the reach of children. It's beeswax orange oil. Because I got time, my ultrasonic cleaner is heating up. I'm just using this Howard beading wax to treat this stuff. And again, whatever you use, it's totally up to you. I'm just giving you suggestions, um, but do not use do not use the spray kind of stuff. I wouldn't recommend that. It's got chemicals in it, and I wouldn't recommend it. Um, but anyway, I'm going to let that dry for 20 minutes and wipe it off. And I use this rag to apply it, and that way this rag gets saturated, and so I could sit here and rub it into the wood and get saturated. And I use this rag over and over, and it's wet from the New Life Furniture Mask, the Howard Beaton Wax, the Old English Oil. Um, but make sure you get all the wood really saturated really well. That way it pops. That way it shines really well when you're done. It needs a drink. It's 150 years old, and I don't know when the last time it was given a drink. But afterwards, like I said, you're going to have to take a toothpick because you can see there's Howard Beaton wax inside these pushing holes, and you don't want that. You'll have to clean out every hole really well if you want your clock to work properly. Well, I'm waiting for my ultrasonic cleaner to heat up. I got it set for 35 degrees Celsius. I'll put the parts in 5 minutes at a time. I look at them 5 more minutes at a time until I'm happy. And I'm waiting 20 minutes for the Howard Beaton wax to do its thing. I want to talk about a few channels. Adair's Repairs, Cheryl Adair. She has been repairing clocks for about a year. She is a lot better teacher than I am. I sent her this. I sent her this moth German carriage clock as a Christmas present. It was something that I would never get to because I got way too many damn clocks in my house to repair. And she was kind enough to send me some of this Keystone mainspring lubricant, so I'll start using that. She's a really great person. She's really smart. She's a nurse. She trains dogs for a living. She repairs projects around her house. She is a go-getter. And I've said this before, and I'll keep saying it. If she would have started repairing clocks back in 1999 when I did, she would have surpassed me over 20 years with knowledge. She's a go-getter. She is not lazy. Um, Please subscribe to all the channels that I mentioned. If you see all these channels that I'm subscribed to, it did not cost me a thing to subscribe to any of these channels. And I have like 200 channels that I subscribe to. If I like a video, if I watch the video all the way, I'll hit subscribe. I don't care what it is. Just Michael Anderson. He has had a YouTube channel for a lot longer than I have, but Mike and I think a lot alike. He repairs clocks that I don't get into, such as the United clocks. He does a great job at his videos where this last clock that he did, Augusta Becker case, he had to, it was ate up with wormwood. The man did a great job making wood parts and getting the clock up and running. You know, a lot of my clocks, I get started, and because my ADHD kicked in at 50, I lose interest. So I start another project, and then I start another project, and so I got a bunch of projects that I got to finish. Michael Anderson, he continues to work until the clock is done. This girl here hasn't got anything to do with clocks, but Leanne Wright, she's a single mom who loves nature. Please subscribe to her channel. I will leave a link to her channel at the end of this video. Torsion Dell. Even if you don't have any anniversary clocks, Torsion Dell has got knowledge that you will learn from if you watch his videos. He makes parts. He explains how to put these clocks in beat. A torsion clock is what Americans know as anniversary clocks. The Americans invented them. The Germans perfected them, and then American Charles Twilliger made this book. And if you repair torsion clocks, you have to have this clock. It's the Bible for torsion clocks. And inside this book, it gives you history on torsion clocks. And I'm going to see if I can find it real fast. There was a company in the United States that was selling these clocks, and they the anniversary clock trademark was registered 1901 by Baller and Burdick's first full-page advertisement for the clocks appeared in November 03. Keystone leading part of the copy reads, the anniversary clock is now so well known to both the trade and the public that further introductions seems unnecessary. A timepiece of merit, noiseless, sells a site for wedding and birthday gifts, wind up on each anniversary day. No up-to-date jewelry store can afford to be without them in stock. Buy only the genuine and beware of imitations. All real anniversary clocks are plainly stamped anniversary trade mark registered. That's not necessarily true. However, because of that advertisement, Americans and some other countries know them as anniversary clocks. But the man is 70 years old. He repairs these clocks for a living, but yet he's given free advice on how to repair them. Mark Diodato, a friend of mine, bought a antique torsion clock with a disc pendulum. He watched Torsion's YouTube videos to get that clock in beat. Clocks with Seth. He does professional videos. He's the one that does the video on clock shirts that I wear all the time, and I mention that all the time. But he also gives history on the clocks. He's got a video on how to set your moon dial on a grandfather clock. He goes to the NAWCC and he does interviews with people. Professional videos. Please subscribe to his. Jordan Busby is a young individual who loves showing off his collection. And so please subscribe to his. Scotty's Clock World. Scott Johnson lives over in Australia. He does all kinds of videos. But what I like most about Scott's videos is antique American clocks. To me, antique American clocks are a pain in the butt because they have what I call open plates, and you have to have the lever set just right, just like on this cuckoo clock. You got to have the gong set just right, and the low note lift lever set just right, and the high note lever just right, and the second wheel and the wheel that goes into the second wheel cam. He shows you how to set those levers on American antique clocks just right. How to repair pendulum clocks with Matthew Reed. There's different channels. There's a live stream. He did this back during COVID, but he's got another channel, how to repair pendulum clocks, and Reed's repairs. The man is very talented. Lives over in the UK. He shows you how to make parts. He explains how, I told you in other videos that I don't know which one is the entry pallet and which one's the exit pallet. He's got videos that explain all that. Very knowledgeable. Very knowledgeable. This is his other channel, How to Repair Pendulum Clocks. I've got a lot of them on my channel. A lot of them's comedy, but I don't want to go through them all. Those are just a handful. But I want to find Jody Davis. I know I'm subscribed to Jody. I just skipped it. Jody, her passion for cuckoo clocks. She doesn't know how to repair cuckoo clocks, but she designs and makes custom-made cuckoo clocks. There's a lot that I'm subscribed to that for some reason under my subscription it doesn't show up. I might have missed it. But give me a second and I'm going to take you to her page. You see that? It says I'm subscribed. This is Jody Davis's page. She designs and builds and sells custom-made cuckoo clocks, and some of them are really animated. And let me find one that you could see a quick video. Let's go to the Old Glory cuckoo clock. Her prices are reasonable to brand new clocks over in Germany. So
Climate problems are
it doesn't cost a thing to subscribe to anybody's channel. You have to be signed into YouTube, and once you're on somebody's channel, you use the search button, and I could find stuff on her channel.
Hello, I'm Jody Davis, cuckoo clock designer here at the American Cuckoo Clock Company. I created the Old Glory Cuckoo Clock to celebrate.
She changed her name because there was an official American Cuckoo Clock Company. It's an old video.
Incredible hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I weep, knowing that our founders drafted and then signed the documents that created this country. And also, when I go to county meetings and I have the opportunity to stand with fellow patriots with our hands over our hearts and pledge allegiance to this greatest of all countries, I want to weep there too. I created this clock for all of us as a reminder and also a celebration of this country. God bless and keep America.
If you want to purchase a clock from Jody, just get on her channel and message her. I'm sure there's information in the description of the video. To learn more, visit AmericanCuckooClock.com. Let's go there. I think this is the page that you have to be at. Sorry, it's no longer available. But anyway, just message her and say, Jody, I want to buy one of your clocks. How do I go about doing it? And even if you don't want to buy a clock, please support her by subscribing to her channel. It takes a lot of time to create these videos. And again, it don't cost you anything. The only thing you have to do to subscribe to somebody's channel is to be signed into YouTube. If you don't have a YouTube account, it's simple to make. All you have to have is an email address, answer a few questions, and stuff like that. One more channel that I have to mention. You type Mark_YTB3051 and search for this. This kid is 14 years old. He lives over in the Ukraine-Russian area. He repairs all his own clocks by himself. He contacts me quite often asking for help, but he repairs all his clocks all by himself. 14 years old. I believe in supporting the youth. That's why I ask you to subscribe to his channel and Jordan Busby. Jordan's a young man. Mark is 14 years old. If you don't support the youth, horology is going to be a thing of the past in the future. And again, it doesn't cost you one penny to subscribe to all these channels that I've mentioned and that I'm gonna leave in this video. So please take the time and subscribe to their channels. And of course, yours truly, my channel. This is my channel. I have more videos out there on cuckoo clock repair than anybody else that I know of. I have a beginner series section, and once you're on my channel, you just search beginner, and it's going to bring up all the videos. I got 123 videos on beginner cuckoo clock repair. Or search for, you got to search keywords like bushings, and I've got several videos. This stupid computer, I hit the wrong thing. I've got several videos on talking about bushings, using cutting brooches and reamers both. So once you're on somebody's channel, use this search button to type in keywords. And you could do this on your TV if you have a TV box. Let's say your cuckoo plays too fast, so I'm going to type in fast. And you might have to do a little bit of search. Does your cuckoo clock cuckoo too fast? My cuckoo plays too fast. What do I do? I've got several videos on the word fast. So again, please support these channels, show the love, and subscribe to every one of these channels that I mentioned in this video. You might be thinking to yourself, well, Mark, you're trying to get us to subscribe to your channel so you can make a ton of money. Trust me on this. YouTube is not paying me enough for the time that I video chat with people, that I answer questions, that I make these videos. I don't do it for the money, all right? The money would be great if I was making a ton of money, but what I'm getting paid, I might be getting paid 10 cents an hour. I put a lot of time in these videos, and it's my way of repairing a clock, one clock at a time, without touching it. And if you talk to all the other people that I've mentioned, they'll tell you the same thing. The money would be great, but they do it to save the horology. It's their way of repairing a clock, one clock at a time, without touching it, by providing this free information. Do I screw up? Yes, I screw up. There's some clocks that are a pain in the butt, and I break things, but I fix them. You know, my Sora work clock, I had to fix several things on that I broke, but I got it up and running. And so, I'm still learning as I go. I love watching all those videos. Once you're subscribed to somebody's channel, you're supposed to get a notification when they get a new video. I love watching their videos because, believe it or not, somebody that's been collecting clocks as long as I have, who has 500 or so clocks in their house, I learn things by watching other people. And you will too. Don't just watch my YouTube videos. I appreciate all the people that are subscribed to my channel. I truly do. I thank you. But if you subscribe to the other channels, to include my channel, you'll learn stuff that they might show you a different way of doing things than what I show you, and it might be easier for you. So, again, please subscribe to all the channels mentioned to keep the horology tradition going. So I took a lint-free cloth and wiped the case off. Doesn't that look a lot better? So now I'm going to take my drill and clean out those holes, because they got the Howard beading wax on it, and using my drill and a toothpick is a lot easier. You see how dirty that is? It's a lot easier than doing it by hand, and I like easy. And so I'm going to continue doing this until the toothpick comes out clean. So do things the easy way. God gave you a talent, the best tool that you will ever have, and that's your brain. So use your brain. Do things the easy way. These things are cheap. Cost me $1 for 300 of these things. So you can keep on replacing them until you can put it in there and your toothpick comes out clean. All right, in this case, it's a skewer, 3.75-inch skewer I got from the dollar store, from the Dollar Tree one. But anyway, you can also put Q-tips in your drill, and you can get a whole package of these for $1 at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, whatever. Put these in your drill to clean the bigger holes. And you're not seeing what I'm seeing. And as you can see, that Q-tip is clean. So this is clean. So now I need to work on these two parts right here. Word of caution, if you don't change out the toothpicks ever so often using the drill, you will break the tips off in bushings. And sorry, they're called bushings, not pivots, pivot holes. So it's best to get a different toothpick out to continue. And I don't know if you can see that or not. There's gunk in that hole still. So it's best to, if you're going to do it with a drill, stick it in there, give it a couple of turns, take it out, and wipe the stick off. Turn it around, wipe the stick off, turn it back around, wipe the stick off until you no longer see that liquid, because that liquid is a mixture of New Life Furniture Mask and old oil. And there I broke the toothpick off because I had my drill twisted, but in this case it's going to come right out. So anyway, you might have to dig a piece of the toothpick off, but this drill makes everything so much easier, and I'm all for easy. If you're one of these people that don't like wasting material, you can always take out your knife and sharpen it up. to get another tip on it to start again. And if you want, you could take some Mother's Magnet aluminum polish and a Q-tip, and it just takes a little bit, and you just sit here and rub and rub and rub. And the Q-tip is going to get black. You don't replace it. You keep on rubbing, and the black is a sign that it's polishing up. Now, my friend Robert Lindsay, he'll sit here and polish every brass piece up. I'm not going to do that, all right? I don't have the time. Well, I take that back. I don't want to take the time. This is not my movement. I'm doing this for free for my friend, Mark. And I'm not going to sit here and polish every brass piece up. But I just want to show you how to do it. The Q-tip is black. You just keep on. He's got like 60 clocks or so. He used as much as I did on all 60 of his clocks. I've only used this just on a few clocks, and I've used a half a container already. And it's because I kept on changing out cloth or Q-tips or whatever, and he's like, Mark, you're doing it wrong. You got to keep on rubbing and rubbing and rubbing until it shines up. And when you get it to shine up to where you want, and then you wipe it off with a cloth. And so I did part of this already, and I'm gonna do a little bit more just to show y'all what it's gonna look like when I'm done. And I'm only gonna spend maybe 5 minutes on this. I've already spent a couple minutes. The video is now 2 minutes, so I'm not gonna go that much further. I'm fixing to wipe it off. And you see the mirror-like finish that I'm getting? And if you were to continue doing that, that's what it looked like before, that's what it looks like now. If you were to continue doing that, this stuff you could shave in it. It will shine up that well. But I'm not going to continue doing that. I just was wanting to clarify. I got another video where I'm using this stuff, where I keep on changing out Q-tips. And that's where I was making my mistake. Use the same Q-tip over and over and over again. You see how well that shined up? And I spent 5 minutes.